be using weights for the class. So if you've got some that are 2 pounds, 3 pounds, possibly 5 pounds, whatever you've got will work. We can also use the smaller weighted balls as well. So whatever you have will work. We're going to go ahead and start off with our regular warm-up. So let's lie down on our backs. And we'll go ahead and hug the knees in toward the chest and hold. Alright, then we're going to go ahead and lower the legs down, let the feet rest on the mat. You're going to go ahead and circle the arms around, reaching as far as you can. You want to open the chest, loosen up the shoulders. And we'll go ahead and reverse directions. Alright, let's bring the arms down to the side. We'll go ahead and roll the head from side to side, going as far as you can to each side, just to again loosen up the neck. And then we're going to work down to the lower back, so let's go ahead and tilt the pelvis forward and back. And just to loosen up any tight spots that you might have in the lower back. Alright, then we're going to keep our knees bent, legs about, hips width apart. We want the feet to sit right under the knees. We're going to lengthen the arms down to the sides, anchor the upper back. We'll go ahead and tuck the pelvis, lift the hips, bring the hips and the lower back up off of the mat, and then roll back down, feeling each part of that spine press down as you lower. And each time, we'll try to lift the hips up a little bit higher. Again, just making sure that the upper back stays anchored. And again, as you lower down, come all the way down so that the lower back presses tight into the mat. Last one. Alright, then we're going to go ahead and reach the right leg straight up toward the ceiling. Circle the leg around, reaching as far as you can. Again, we want to loosen up and warm up the hip joints. Let's go ahead and reverse directions. Alright, let's switch over to the opposite side. So same thing, getting that full range of motion, but just making sure that the back of the hips stay anchored. And then let's reverse directions. Alright, let's lower the leg down. We're going to lift both legs up, keeping our knees bent. We're going to go ahead and lower down one leg at a time, touch the toe to the floor, and come right back up. So again, we want to draw in those lower abs nice and tight. The pelvis should stay stable. Inhale as you lift. Exhale as you lower. And then we're going to press both legs together. Same thing, we're going to lower both legs down and come right back up. So again, we're hinging at the hips. We're not moving or shifting the pelvis or the lower back. Exhale as we lower. Inhale as we lift. Good. All right, let's go ahead and lower both legs back down. So we're going to go ahead and grab the weights. And again, you don't need anything heavy. 2 or 3 pounds will be plenty. We're going to go ahead and hold the arms down to the sides, holding the weight. We're going to lift the head and shoulders, nod the chin in, lengthen the arms. Let's go ahead and pull one knee in. Opposite leg reaches out, and we'll alternate sides. The shoulders are lifted, chin is nodded in. Take some nice, steady, deep breaths. Keep those arms lifted and lengthened. Good, all right, let's go ahead and lower back down. So again, we're going to lift head and shoulders, nod the chin in so you're looking down toward the hips, lengthen and lift the arms. We're going to pull both legs in, bring our arms up slightly, squeezing the legs together, pull the knees in, And then we're going to lengthen and extend both arms and legs and pull back to the center. So inhale as we come in, exhale as we reach. And again, just pay attention to the lower abs. Make sure you're keeping them drawn in nice and tight. The head should stay stable and lifted. Again, inhale in, exhale and extend. Good, draw those lower abs in nice and tight. We're lengthening and extending through the hips. And let's go ahead and lower back down. All right, so we're gonna reach both legs straight up toward the ceiling. We're anchoring the entire back from the shoulders down to the hips. Again, drawing the lower abs in nice and tight. Lengthen the arms up. And we're gonna go ahead and as we lower one leg down, we're gonna pull the elbows down and up. And again, we're alternating sides. We want to draw that navel in toward the spine, lower the leg all the way down, and then back straight up from the hip. And again, we're just bringing the elbows down and then lengthening straight up from the shoulders. And we want to make sure we're keeping the entire back anchored through the movement. All right, let's go ahead and lower back down. So again, we're going to lengthen both legs straight up toward the ceiling, drawing in the abs. We're going to reach both arms straight up, and then we're going to lower both legs down as we lower the arms out to the sides, and then come right back up. Exhale out, inhale up. And again, it's a nice controlled movement. We're lengthening and extending both arms and legs. And again, just check the neck. Want to make sure that you're not holding any tension there. Inhale up, exhale out. Again, just make sure your lower back isn't straining or arching up off of the mat. Okay, let's go ahead and lower back down. So we're going to bring our arms down to the sides again. We'll lengthen both legs straight up. Let's lift head and shoulders up, nod the chin, and pulse. So it's a nice, quick, controlled movement for more of a challenge. Just lower those legs down a little bit farther away from the body. You want to inhale for 5, and exhale for 5. And again, be careful that you don't start to shrug the shoulders. We want to keep them lifted but pressed down. Good, again, inhale for 5 and exhale for 5. All right, let's go ahead and lower all the way back down. And then we're going to keep our knees bent, legs about hips width apart. Again, we'll lift head and shoulders, nod the chin, and we're going to shift from side to side. So just pivoting at the hips, they're staying anchored. We're just reaching down toward the ankle on each side. Arms are lifted and reaching. And we're looking down toward the hips just to keep any strain off of the neck. Okay, let's go ahead and lower back down. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and sit all the way up on the mat. And we're gonna lengthen both legs straight out in front of the body. Again, if you feel a strain in your hips or your back and find that you can't sit up tall, just go ahead and bend the knees slightly in order to keep that back nice and straight. We wanna flex the feet. We're gonna hold the arms straight out to the front. Lengthening forward, coming all the way up. Arms out to the sides, overhead, out, and forward. So again, we're lengthening to the front, nice tall back as we come up, and then extending and reaching the arms. And as we reach arms overhead. Just make sure that you're sliding the shoulder blades down the back. Get a nice tall posture at the top, lengthening up through the spine. And again, we want to keep the legs anchored, feet flexed. We're using the abs to help pull forward a little bit further into that stretch. Good. All right, let's go ahead and lower back down. So we're going to go ahead and hold the weights straight out to the sides, sliding the shoulder blades down the back. Again, nice tall posture. We're rotating in the waist, reaching and extending the outside of that opposite foot, and back up to the center. We're alternating sides. Exhale forward, inhale up. As you come up to the center, again, you want to sit up tall, bring that head up and forward. Good, exhale forward, inhale, lengthen up through the spine. Keep those legs stable. Good, all right, let's go ahead and lower back down. So we're going to go ahead and bend our knees. We're going to keep our feet flat on the mat with the legs about hips width apart. We're leaving one weight down on the floor. So let's bring our left hand behind the head. Right arm is holding the weight, reaching straight out to the front. We're going to lean back slightly. Twist in the waist. So head, shoulders, and arms all move as a unit. We're going to curl in and out. So the upper part of the arm stays stable. Again, we're just hinging at the elbow. We're sliding the shoulder back. Again, to open the chest. And again, we're drawing in those abs, leaning back slightly. Good. Make sure you're taking some nice deep breaths. All right, then we're gonna curl and just pump up and back down. So again, just be careful that you're not shrugging the shoulders. A lot of focus on those lower abs. The lower body should stay stable. And again, we want to keep the chest open. Good. All right, we'll lengthen out. Come all the way back up. We're going to switch over to the opposite side. So we'll bring the weight into that left hand. Lengthen it out. Right hand's behind the head. Leaning back slightly. And again, we're rotating in the waist to twist toward that right side. Opening the chest. We're going to go ahead and start off just curling in. Again, you're just hinging at the elbow. Trying to keep the neck relaxed. And breathe. And we want that lower body stable. And you might find that the arm starts to drop. But you want to work hard to keep it lifted. Good, all right, we're gonna curl in and then pulse up and back down. Good, check the neck and shoulders. We wanna make sure that we're not holding any extra tension there. And breathe. Good, again, be careful that you don't start to shrug the shoulders. We want the chest open. Good, back out and up. Nice job. Okay, so let's go ahead and roll so that we're lying face down on the mat. And again, you want the weights within arm's reach. So we want to press the front of the hips, tighten into the mat, and tightening the glutes. Our legs are going to stay hips width apart. We're going to lengthen and extend arms overhead. Sliding shoulder blades down the back. We're going to go ahead and lift opposite arm and opposite leg. And we're alternating sides. So the front of the hips should stay pressed down equally. on each side. And again, just pay attention to those shoulders. We don't want to start to slide them up. They should stay pressed down the back. And again, make sure you're taking those full breaths. We want to use the hamstring on the back of the legs to lift and lengthen. All right, then we're going to go ahead and bring arms straight out to the sides and holding the weights. Anchoring the front of the hips, legs stay hips width apart. We're going to go ahead and lift, arms and legs up. Slide the shoulder blades down the back. And we're going to bring our arms down to the hips and out to the sides. So again, nice controlled movement, full deep breaths. Don't let those legs start to drop. Again, we're sliding those shoulder blades together nice and tight in the upper back. All right, let's go ahead and lower back down. We're going to go ahead and bring the arms, reach them straight down to the sides. Again, we're pressing the front of the hips down, lifting and lengthening the legs, pulling the shoulder blades down the back, and we're going to pulse. So a nice quick controlled movement, using those triceps, using the upper back. Nice deep breaths. And again, don't let those legs start to drop. We want to keep them lengthened and extended. Check that neck. Make sure it's staying relaxed. Good. Keep those arms reaching and lifted. All right, let's go ahead and lower back down. So again, we'll set the weights to the side. We're going to go up onto the hands and knees. So we're going to bring our hands right under the shoulders. And we're actually going to grab the weights. Nice straight arms. So you can bring your knees back and lean forward slightly so you have that nice straight line down the side of the body. Keeping one hand on the mat, we're going to rotate one arm up, slide the shoulder blades together, down, and alternate sides. So again, we're drawing in and up on those lower abs. And again, as you lift, slide those shoulder blades together in the upper back. Good. Don't forget about our lower abs. Keep them drawn in and activated. Good, all right. So we're gonna set the weights to the side and we'll lean forward and hold in a plank position. If you do want more of a challenge, go ahead and lift up and hold. So again, we're sliding the shoulder blades down the back, lengthening the legs, keeping those lower abs drawn in and activated. And we're taking some full deep breaths. Really work hard to stay lifted. And the head is lifted, but the chin is nodded in toward the chest. Good, breathe through it. All right, let's go ahead and lower back down. Okay, so let's roll onto the side. And you can start on either side. And again, we just need one weight for this series. So we're gonna lower down, prop the head up, just relax the neck and shoulders. Lengthen our legs, but angle them forward just slightly to the opposite corner of that mat. Grab a weight in the top hand. We're gonna hold it straight out to the front, open the hip, and we're gonna lift and lower. So lengthening and extending through the toes. Lifting that top leg up as high as you can, and then pressing it back down. Exhale up, inhale down. And again, don't forget about those lower abs. We're keeping them drawn in nice and tight. Check our neck, make sure we're not holding tension. All right, we're gonna lower down. Then we're gonna go ahead and lift the arm up. Lower just behind the hips, back up and out to the front. As we go through that movement, we're holding the top leg stable at the height of the hip. So again, be careful that you don't shrug the shoulders. The shoulder blades should stay pressed down the back. And again, we're keeping that top leg lifted and lengthened so it's right at the height of the hip. All right, let's go ahead and lower back down. So again, we're gonna open the hip so that knee points up toward the ceiling. Hold the arm up, we're gonna lift straight up, bend, and out. And if this does get to be way too much on that shoulder, you can just go ahead and lower the arm all the way down. For more of a challenge, you can keep it lifted through the series. And again, we want the knee to point up toward the ceiling as we bend the leg. Remember, we're bringing that toe all the way down to the bottom leg. And then let's reverse. Slide up, lengthen and reach. Again, we're coming up as high as we can before we straighten the leg. Check the lower abs, make sure we're not letting them stay relaxed. Keep them drawn in. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and bring that leg back up to the height of the hip. Lifting up, down, up, and out to the front. Bottom leg should stay lengthened and pressed tight into the mat. And again, take some steady, deep breaths. Keep those abs drawn in. Good, all right, we'll lower back down. Now we're gonna go ahead and bring the top leg. We're gonna reach it straight out to the front and back to the center. So just right back, so it's in alignment with that bottom leg. And again, if you want more of a challenge, go ahead and lift that top arm up, or you can keep it lower down in the front of the body. Again, we're just going straight out to the front and right back to the center. Again, doing a double check on that upper body. Neck should stay relaxed. The rest of the upper body should stay nice and stable and anchored. Good, we'll lower down. Then we're gonna lift the leg up to the height of the hip. We'll reach behind, lower and touch the toe, back up, and to the center. So behind, down, up, into the center. So the core and the hip stays nice and stable. You're just hinging right in the joint here. Back and down. And again, for more of a challenge, you can keep that arm lifted at the height of the shoulder, holding the weight. Good, extend and reach. Keep those lower abs drawn in. Good, and then let's go ahead and lower down. And we'll do another set with our arms. So we're lifting up, lowering behind, up, and to the front. And again, we want to keep that top leg lifted at the height of the hip. Good, again, steady, deep breaths. Keep that bottom leg anchored. Good, and last one, we'll lower down. So we're gonna go ahead and take the top leg, grab the inside of the ankle, place that foot flat on the mat, try to push that knee to open the hip so the knee points up toward the ceiling. We're gonna lengthen the bottom leg, point the toe. Now we're gonna go ahead and lift and lower. So lifting as high as you can, but keeping the movement controlled. And again, make sure we're not starting to shrug the shoulders. We want to keep them pressed down. All right, let's go ahead and flex the foot. We're still keeping that leg nice and straight. And again, we're lifting and lowering, going up as high as we can. Try to keep the knee of that top leg pointing up toward the ceiling. And again, we don't want to forget about those lower abs. Keep them drawn in and lifted. Good, nice controlled movement. Push through. You're probably starting to feel a good burn on that inner thigh. Okay, we'll go ahead and relax. All right, so let's go ahead and switch over to the opposite side. So again, we just need the one weight. So we're gonna lower down, prop the head up. And again, just relax the neck and shoulders. Lengthen our legs out, just slightly toward the opposite corner, drawing in those lower abs. We're gonna hold the weight straight out to the front, and we're gonna go ahead and lift straight up, straight down. So again, exhale up, inhale down, straightening and lengthening both legs. And again, if this is too much on the shoulder, you can just go ahead and lower that weight down, keeping the arm lengthened. Again, exhale up, inhale down, lengthen and reach through the toes. Good, all right, and we're gonna lower down. We'll bring that leg up just to the height of the hip, lift straight up, lower behind, up, and to the front. So you can feel that by bringing that arm behind, you're really having to make sure those abs are activated to help with balance and stability. So it kind of forces you to keep them drawn in. And again, we want to try to keep that neck relaxed. Top leg lifted at the height of the hip. Good, all right. So we're gonna go ahead, and again, you can either hold the weight straight out to the front or lower the arm. We're gonna lift straight up, bend, and out. So again, bringing that toe all the way down to the bottom of the leg before you extend out. Again, hip is open. And we want those steady, deep breaths. Exhale up, inhale out. All right, let's reverse direction. So we're gonna slide up, straighten and reach. Again, we're drawing in those abs nice and tight. And we want that knee to point up as we're sliding up. And again, we're coming up as high as you can with that foot before we lengthen. Okay, let's go ahead and lower down. Then again, we're gonna lift the top leg up to the height of the hip, lifting up, behind, up, and to the front. Again, we want that core to stay nice and stable. Again, it's a nice controlled movement. We're not letting the weight drop. It's a nice slow movement. All right, let's go ahead and lower back down. So we're gonna bring that arm, extend back out to the front. For more of a challenge, lift it up. Otherwise, we can keep the weight down, arm lengthened. We're gonna reach the leg straight out to the front and back to the center. So again, the leg stays at the height of the hip, all the way through the movement. And the hip is slightly open. Good, exhale to the front. Inhale to the center. And again, you're coming out to the front as far as you can. Draw those abs in a little bit deeper to pull a little bit further. All right, let's go ahead and lower down. And we're gonna go ahead and lift that top leg up just at the height of the hip and back through our series. Up to the front, up and behind. And check that neck, make sure it's staying relaxed. Sliding the shoulder blades down the back. lower back down. We're gonna go ahead and bring the arm back out to the front. This time we're lifting up, reaching behind, lowering down, up, and forward. So again, as you're reaching behind, you're not rolling the hip in as you lower, you're keeping it open. So you're really having to use the inner thigh and the hamstring. So again, down to the floor. And you're not really, bending at the ankle, trying to cheat that way. We're keeping that leg lengthened all the way down. Good, all right, let's go ahead and lower back down. And we're gonna bring that top leg in the front, grab the inside of the ankle, place that foot flat on the mat with the knee pointing up. Point the toe, and we're gonna go ahead and lift and lower. Again, we're lengthening and extending. And again, it's a controlled movement, going up as high as you can. And again, just not letting it drop back down to the mat, keeping it controlled. Okay, then we're gonna go ahead and flex the foot. Again, the leg is lengthened. And same thing, we're lifting and lowering, putting a lot of focus on the pelvic floor and the inner thigh. Again, make sure we're not starting to shrug the shoulders or tense the neck. Last one, all right. So let's go ahead and grab the weights. Again, we'll use both now. So we're gonna bring a weight on each side. We're gonna go ahead and lie down on our backs. So we're gonna keep our knees bent, legs about hips width apart. Our feet are going to rest right under the knees. We're gonna go ahead and take the weights. So let's first anchor the back from the shoulders down to the hips, drawing those lower abs. We're going to tuck the pelvis, lift our hips. And again, as we come up, we want that straight line down the side of the body. And we want to be careful we're not arching the back, right? We want to tuck the pelvis, flatten out that lower back, keep the feet anchored. And again, we want those hips lifted. So nice full deep breaths. We're just going to hold on the first one. Just check the neck. Again, make sure we're not holding any tension there. We're gonna keep the upper back anchored. And then we're gonna roll down. Feel each part of that spine press down all the way down until the lower back presses tight into the mat. So again, we're gonna tuck the pelvis, lift our hips. Again, keeping a flat back, relaxing the neck. And then we're gonna go ahead and reach both arms straight up toward the ceiling. And just like we're taking a step up, we're digging one foot into the mat. The opposite leg is coming up with a knee bent and back down, and we're alternating sides. So as we do that, we're bringing the arms down. As we lower the leg, we're pressing back up. So elbows down as we bring the leg up, lengthen our arms, and lower. So really work hard to make sure those hips are staying lifted. Be careful that we're not arching that lower back. And we're drawing in those lower abs, keeping the pelvis tucked. And again, be careful that you don't start to bring the legs closer together. They should stay hips width apart just to help keep your body balanced and square. Good, work hard to keep those hips lifted. We're gonna hold the arms straight up and then slowly roll the back all the way down and bring our arms down. So again, once more, we're gonna go ahead and tuck the pelvis, lift the hips. Again, work hard to keep that lower back nice and flat. We're gonna go ahead and lengthen our arms up, all the way overhead, up and down. As we do that, we're actually going to go ahead and lift up onto the balls of the feet. And then as we bring the arms down, we're going to lower down. So again, up onto the balls of the feet, and then go ahead and lower those heels. So again, we want to make sure we're keeping those hips lifted. Don't let them start to drop. And again, make sure you're taking those steady, deep breaths. Good, again, a nice controlled movement. Back of the shoulders should stay anchored. Good, let's let the arms rest. And then we'll go ahead and slowly roll each part of that back down nice and tight. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and lift head and shoulders. Again, we're nodding the chin in, reaching and lifting those arms. We're gonna pull both knees in, flex our feet, open the hips. We'll go ahead and press out, and then pull right back in. Exhale out, inhale in, keeping those heels pressed together, lower abs, just stay drawn in nice and tight. Inhale in, exhale out. Good, keep those shoulders lifted off of the mat, arms lengthened. Squeeze those legs together. And as we're pulling in, bring those knees in as far as you can. Good. And we'll lower back down. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and reach both arms and legs straight up toward the ceiling. If this puts a lot of stress on your hips or your back, just bend your knees slightly. Again, we're anchoring the entire back. And we're gonna lower opposite arm, opposite leg, and just come right back up. And we're alternating sides. So exhale as we lower, and inhale as we come back up. Again, straighten and lengthen through the legs and the arms. We're drawing that navel in toward the spine. And again, you can have your knees bent through this exercise as well if that puts less strain on your back. Good. And let's go ahead and lower back down. And then we're going to lengthen our arms up. Lift both legs up. This time we're keeping our knees bent. Legs pressed together. We're going to go ahead and hinge at the hips, drop the legs down away from the body, come right back up. As we do that, lower the arms overhead, come right back up. Again, exhale down, inhale up. Again, check your neck. Make sure you're not holding any tension there. And again, really working hard to draw those abs in, pulling the navel in down toward the spine. Again, inhale up, exhale down. Be careful again that you're not shrugging the shoulders or tensing the neck. Good, let's go ahead and lower back down. So we're going to set the weights to the side. And then we're going to go ahead and lengthen arms down to the sides. We'll open the chest. We're going to keep our knees bent, legs hips width apart. Again, we want our feet to sit directly under the knees. We're going to tuck the pelvis, lift the hips, and then we're going to go ahead and lift one leg, cross it over the other so that the ankle sits just right above the knee. We're going to lower all the way down, touching the lower back to the mat, and then coming right back up. So we're just lifting and lowering, making sure that both sides of the hips touch down onto the mat. Again, just to make sure that we're staying square. And again, we want that upper back To stay stable and anchored, we're tucking the pelvis as we lift and lower. And again, just make sure you're breathing. Double check the neck again. We don't want to be holding any unnecessary tension there. And really focus on trying to keep the hips square. Like I said, we don't want to be leaning to one side. So as you lower down, we're touching the back of both hips all the way down. All right, let's go ahead and switch over to the opposite side. So again, we're just crossing one leg over so that ankle rests right under the knee. And again, we're tucking the pelvis, lift and lower. Again, try to lift up as high as you can without arching the lower back. Again, just keeping the chest open, upper back anchored. And again, we want to take those full deep breaths. Good, breathe through it. You're probably starting to feel it on the hamstring, on the glutes. You're doing great. Got a couple more to go. Good. All right, we'll go ahead and uncross the legs. And then we're going to lengthen both arms straight out to the sides with the palms facing up. Straighten the left leg, press it down. The right leg is going to extend up. And we're going to go ahead and circle around. Reaching as far as we can. Again, let's make sure that hip is nice and open. Let's reverse directions. Again, the rest of the body is anchored. Of course, we're keeping those lower abs drawn in. All right, let's switch over to the opposite side. All right, let's reverse directions. Okay, let's hug the knees in toward the chest and hold. And we'll keep one knee pulled in directly over the hip. Opposite leg lengthens out and lowers all the way down. We'll go ahead and switch over to that opposite side. All right, let's lower the leg. So we'll keep the knees bent, legs about hips width apart. We're going to go ahead and tilt the pelvis forward and back. And going as far as you can in each direction to loosen up that lower back further. All right, let's go ahead and reach the right leg straight up. Grab between the ankle and the knee. We'll flex the foot. Pull into where you feel a nice stretch. Hold for a couple of seconds. Release back out. And we'll pull in again, going in a little bit deeper if you can. And release back out. And again, we'll go ahead and pull in. Nice deep stretch on the back of that leg. And release. All right, let's go to the opposite side. So again, we're flexing the foot, lengthening the leg. And again, we're pulling in until we feel that nice stretch. And release out. And again, we want to go in a little bit further. And out. Last time. Again, keep that leg lengthened, foot flexed. All right, and we'll release. So let's again cross one leg over the other so the ankle sits below the knee. We're lifting up that bottom leg, holding in. Again, holding for a couple of seconds. Release out. And again, we want to pull in a little bit further. And out. And once more. All right, let's switch to the opposite side. So same thing. Pulling in to where we feel a nice stretch. Hold. We'll release out. Pull in a little bit further. And out. And once more. And out. All right, let's go ahead and lower down. Okay, so let's sit all the way up on the mat. And we're gonna go ahead and lengthen both legs straight out. Extend the legs. We're gonna reach forward, either grab the feet or the legs. Pull forward, out toward the feet. And hold. Feeling a nice stretch down the legs, on the lower back. Okay, let's roll back up. And we'll finish up stretching on the neck. So we're gonna sit up nice and tall, gently pressing the shoulders down. And we're gonna go ahead and tilt the head to one side and back up. And we'll alternate sides. As you're leaning to one side, be careful that this shoulder doesn't lift. We still want to keep it pressed down. A little bit of a deeper stretch. All right, then we'll rotate the head from side to side. All right, then we'll go ahead and turn to the side. Again, without lifting this opposite shoulder, we'll nod the chin in as far as you can. Release up and alternate. Okay, and we're gonna roll the shoulders forward a couple of times. They got some good work today. And then we'll reverse directions. All right, you're finished. So great job. Thanks so much for joining class today. And we will see you next time. Thank you.